Good evening, good morning. Welcome everyone to another great session. Today we've got the AI Trilemma, Navigating Hype, Hope and Horror by Hashvana. So thank you, Hashvana, for coming and joining and presenting to us today. You did a great session a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, you're back. Obviously, we didn't scare you away. So thank you for coming and presenting to us again. Just some housekeeping. So this session is delivered on behalf of the Azure Cloud Commanders Skilling Room. So within the Microsoft Tech community, under the Skilling Hub, you can navigate down there and so you can see Skilling Room directories where there's the Azure Cloud Commanders group where we concentrate a lot on just Azure in general, Azure Administration, Architect, anything to do with Azure really. And there's a whole bunch of other learning rooms as well, across multiple different uh, categories and product types. So make sure you definitely check these out. These are community ran. So huge shout out to all the other skilling room leaders as well. So just some code of conduct. So this is an inclusive session. Just be kind and respectful to everyone. Like I'll be monitoring the chat throughout, so feel free to add any questions or anything in the chat, and we'll see to those. Just be wary that this is a public-facing session, so anything that you may put in the chat around your organization or anything personal, just be aware of that others may be able to see that. Right, with that out of the way, I'll hand over to Harshavardhan. So thank you very much for coming and presenting again today. I'll switch screens around.
Cool. Thanks, Liu, for inviting. So let me just share the screen.
Yep, bring it up. All good. I'll vanish and leave you to it. Thank you.
So, yep. So, hi, hello everyone, and that was Baby Yoda actually there. So, who am I? I'm an associate product manager at Unstop looking after all the AI innovations out there. Azure developer lead, GitHub campus expert, 7 times Microsoft certified engineer, which includes AI engineer and data scientist. 5 times Oracle certified, 3 times Google certified, GitHub, and founder of the world, and top 3% speaker globally out there. You can just scan this QR code in case you wish to connect with me out there, and I'll be present on LinkedIn to answer all your queries. Cool. So, what are we going to explore today, and what's this whole session is gonna be about? So, as you can see on the screen, there are 5 things that we are going to actually engage throughout the session, and it's gonna be a quick session covering your real life things out there and whatever you do with AI right now, from building to actually using it for your day-to-day life activities. So we'll be covering from the landscape, how AI's current status and its rapid evaluation, from to horror, the hope, and the approaches that we can actually use to make it better, along with our role that would be there. So, what's the landscape look like? There has been an AI explosion out there, and currently we stand where the global market is actually growing out there. We have seen ChatGPT users being increased, AI adoption of around 72%, and the investment has been increasing day by day, along with some great breakthroughs of GPT 5.1, Claude 4.6, AlphaFold 303, Grok 4, Sora, and Video AI. The pace is accelerating, and we are seeing a high demand of AI out there, and everyone's talking about it. But we are actually forgetting that there can be bad side of it too, which includes the horror. So There are some risks and real dangers already present in our digital world, like deep fake misalignment risk. And these are the horrors that I think we all should actually cater first to and actually look what needs to be there. The most common thing that we are seeing right now is the deep fake pandemic. Now, what do I mean by it? So there has been an explosion of deep fakes since AI has become much better in cloning us, or is has become much better in replicating us. It can be from person's perspective as a video or a photo generated content, or even from a voice cloning perspective. There has been some cases out there where the person has actually cloned the voice and has called and say that, okay, I am in an emergency and I need some amount, or I need some XYZ money out there to actually get through all of it. Now, when we say get through all of it, we get nervous, and if it's a family member or someone close, we actually give it to them. But it has been found that the voice had been cloned. Similarly, let's take a setup where a finance employee joined a video call with what actually appeared to be the CFO and the colleagues out there, but all were AI generated because of the video deepfake and the voice cloning done. He actually transferred some, let's say, 15 crores or some more amount, 15 millions or billions to different accounts, and only realized after the call ended that the person was actually fake. There has been a financial impact, as you can see. The financial services, the average loss per incident, and projected US fraud has increased to $40 billion because of it. Now, this is one of the major horror that we are seeing right now. The second horror, or I would say the second thing that we all actually face, is the misalignment problem. Now, what do we mean by the misalignment problem? It's happening that AI sometimes is not getting aligned with the goals with which it was created, or it's probably acting badly by the lights of its designers. So, like, what's happening? So, let's suppose you created a AI that should actually help people out there, but instead it's giving some wrong assumptions or wrong things out there. Recently there has been some cases where ChatGPT or Claude, since most people have started interacting with it so much that it has become the part of their personal life, and since most of us has forgotten the real touch of actually human interaction, we have started actually interacting with ChatGPT or Claude much more, that people have started sharing their personal life to them. Now, what has happened over there during that scenario is someone actually told ChatGPT that, okay, if I could fly, what would that look like, or if I should fly. Since ChatGPT is created for the purpose of actually giving personalized result and some guardrails couldn't meet, it actually told them that yes, you can fly if you wish to. Technically, it's not incorrect, but as per the emotional bias, it's harmful. This is what is happening with the current AI. And if we are developing towards the AGI, then the uh, h- human intelligence or the human capabilities could be passed. And if AI is not aligned with the creators, it can do some harmful things out there. Even Anthropic research found that while completing the task, some frontier models actually sabotaged their own shutdown mechanism, which included O3, GPT-5, and Grok 4. Uh, Now, these are the things that are happening, and this is called the misalignment problem, which is out there right now. Now, the last horror, which is at scale, is social disruption. The social disruption, by this I mean that the whole AI infrastructure, or the whole uh, consumer spending, or the whole employment rate and everything that's there, which is at a society level, is getting affected out there. So, for example, the consumer spending, uh, it has decreased because the employment rate has decreased suddenly. The job market is pretty bad, and people are actually facing it because um, things were not well planned, and suddenly the uh, evolvement of AI in each and every sector, whether it's technology, customer service, financial, or legal services, has impacted each and every life out there. As you can see, there are some critical vulnerabilities that I've marked, from consumer spending, which has been in red, to institutional trust in yellow, the AI infrastructure, which is in again in red, and Jacob dilemma is also there right now, which is actually affecting towards a much more gripping situation, where people are actually anticipating a scenario where things would go a bit bad, and there would be some uh, like trust issues and innovation decline, along with skill polarization, so that things actually become stable after 15 to 20 years. So these are the three horrors that are there, but there is still hope. There is still some potential that we all are able to see, and there are a lot of things that's there in the back end. The best example that we could see is the AlphaFold, from 50 years problem to Nobel Prize winning breakthrough. All of you must have heard about it if you are in AI. The AlphaFold was a problem that actually, AlphaFold is actually the innovation by Demis and its team out there, which is Google DeepMind right now, which has actually helped uh, solve and expand the frontier to get all the things beyond, uh, like get the all protein and DNA situations and the amino acid sequences that used to take years out there. Now it has become like a matter of maybe months or weeks, so that we could actually solve and determine how proteins fold into the 3D structures from amino acid sequences. This could actually help with getting the remedies for different patients, like, for example, Alzheimer, Parkinson's, and even cancer. It has actually accelerated the drug discovery pipelines and understanding how the cancer proteins interact, and maybe we could be reaching the time where we would be able to get a cure for cancer. It still it has been made open source, and since it's open source, it has actually had a global impact of getting 200 million plus protein structures predicted, 3 million plus researchers worldwide, 190 plus countries accessing the database, and it uses the generative AI techniques in the backend to actually refine its atomic level structures and get us to it. So this is one of the best and novel use case that we have of AI right. Similarly, we can have AI for a sustainable future. We are able to see that the renewable energy is becoming a major concern, and Microsoft and PNL actually break through with the help of AI. They could actually narrow down their 18 hours of work to actually some uh, like minutes. In fact, it actually allows them to have reduce the zero carbon periods to a whole new scenario. In fact, if you must have read the news, due to AI, they found that okay, there are some enzymes and bacteria which could uh, produce much more oxygen and take much less space and give oxygen all the time, since they do not have trunks, they do not have roots, just like trees. So, what the scientists do, they actually use AI, they created a design of it, and now it has been placed in some areas where it's actually in a glass shield kind of a thing, and we are able to get oxygen from it while it's taking the carbon dioxide. And it's much more effective than trees, out there. So these are the sustainable future things that we can get from AI. But what's the approaches, or what are the safety frameworks that's out there that we could actually follow to get AI work for us and not we work for AI? First is the rice principle of AI alignment. Now, uh, is it rice that we are talking about, or something else? So, the rice is the four pillar of safe and beneficial AI development that we have right now. First is the robustness, then it's the interpretability, C is the controllability, and E is the ethicality. Now, what do I mean by all of this? Robustness. Make sure that your AI is actually resistant to failure and attacks, which is you expose your AI or the software that you've created or the algorithm that you've created to attacks during training so that it improves its resilience. It understands the uh, methods by which it can be injected to do tasks which it should not. Similarly, ensure that your AI performs well outside the training data distribution and it's not restricted to some particular space. What this allows is actually get AI to actually understand each and every scenarios that are possible, and based upon that get the output which is much more aligned towards the goals that you need to present. Last but not the least, have a reward hacking prevention mechanism so that it detects and prevents unintended optimization. The So what we do is actually use, for example, reinforcement learning. We add that, okay, if you actually prevent this particular thing, or if you actually reach towards this particular goal, you'll be rewarded. But make sure that it's not becoming kind of a loop, so that it actually keeps on detecting it and using it to actually enhance the reward system while actually harming the system behind the backend and not looking forward to it. So the reward system should be made in such a way that it understands all the basic principles and looks after all the scenarios to give a reward score to it. So this is all about the robustness part. What about the interpretability? So it should be something that you are able to understand and you are able to know why the AI made the decision that it has right now. Although, since none of us right now know how AI works or how deep learning works in the back end, how neurons interact and why they do so, but maybe you can try some mechanisms so that you can actually reverse engineer and understand how the neural network understood the context and gives you a particular output. You can use sparse autoencoders that would actually map features like Golden Gate Bridge or Michael Jordan so that you can actually understand how this thing particular happened and why is it happening. Last but not the least, try using chain of thought monitoring. Listen to AI inner monologue during listening, which is try giving it shorter sentences, try replicating it by differentiating by a very bit of it, and see how the AI is giving the response and maybe understand the chain of thought behind it. C is the controllability. Make sure that you add human feedback and make your AI understand that human feedback is the most important thing and should be aligned towards it. Give it a constitution, write it a document which is very detailed and see what are the principles that it should follow. Add the guardrails that are there. Add all the methods that you need. And last but not the least, use some mechanisms to actually maintain the human control even for a complex task. Last but not the least is the ethicality, which is make sure that your AI is matching human intentions and ethics. It's treating everyone with fairness and bias. is not there, and there's transparency. There's clear documentation of how AI works and what are the limitations of it and what we should not do while using it as a user or a customer. None of this alone can actually prevent AI from actually going out of and turning into a horror, but a combination can actually help us to get a robust AI safety. There's the governance in action right now, the EU AI Act, which is European Union. They have actually presented a detailed AI Act, because of which some of the companies have been penalized. But it's great. I would actually want all of you to go ahead, and if you're creating AI products, go ahead and follow it. It's a comprehensive AI regulation that's there. It allows you to have risk-based classification system of which are the risks that are unacceptable, what are the things that are of high risk, what are of limited, and what are of minimal. The AI Act enters into force, had been in August 2024, and it's there right now. We are aiming to do it by 2027. And some of the key provisions that's there is you should have in your company a mandatory AI literacy training, confirm assessments of for high risk and unacceptable risk. Human oversight is always required. There should be complete technical documentation which is transparent and incident report obligations. Um, the whole thing needs to be studied, and I would want all of you to go. If you face any issue out there, let me know, and follow this in your organization. Last thing that you can do as a person in your organization or in your society is actually have talk about AI safety and converse about it. Stay informed, always follow some trusted sources only, maybe research lab, academic publications, or AI safety institutes. Continuous learn because it's rapidly evolving. New things are coming each and every day. Join different communities and look after the AI safety forums so that uh, you can actually understand how things are working, uh, and how different professional networks and meetups should be there. Similarly, in your organization, make sure that you are not restricting yourself. You are actually uh, talking about it, having conversation, taking opinions, taking feedbacks, because it might happen that some guardrails or some particular prompt is coming into your mind that can jailbreak, but some other can get it much better. Make sure that in your organization, your society, you are asking for transparency. You are telling your vendors, even if it's a third party, to give the model limitation and the safety measures that it has been trained upon. Support safety research, educate your colleagues, and advocate about the latest AI committees or the AI rules that's been there. In society, make sure that you are engaged in politically, participating in dialogue and spread awareness. And while prompting, you should actually check for this particular four questions: that what AI systems do you interact with daily and what risk do they pose, so that you can understand what are the things that you are doing wrong, and maybe some other person can give an opinion to you in some other format. How should we balance innovation with safety in AI development? This is again an important question, because while creating and innovating with AI, you might end up giving all of your data to AI, and it can become publicly available by just prompting it. What role should government, industry, and civil society play so that you can make your government accountable about it and understand what are the needs and the requirements of it? Along with how can we ensure AI benefits are distributed equitably, which is you should make sure that your AI is not made for one particular section of the society. It's there for each and every one, and it's not biased by thought. Navigating all this three is pretty important. And since we saw the theoretical part of it, I would like to show you how to actually work around it in Azure AI Foundry. So let's just go to it also. So here's the entire screen. Again, let's go to ai.azure.com. Now, this is the AI factory that I showed you last. You can check out the previous video to know more about it. Now, we are talking about some guardrails, some prompting techniques that you should actually follow. So, let's check this out. Okay, okay, let's go from portal. Yep, cool. So here you can see a section in your AI Foundry portal, which is protect and govern. This is the most important thing that you should actually use. How to use it is pretty simple. For example, you want that, okay, I have to do a evaluation and I want it to be automatic. So you can just click on create a new evaluation. You can evaluate an existing query response dataset, or if you want to evaluate a model, let's just click on this. You can use your own dataset, or you can simulate questions. Let me simulate questions. Topics to generate questions about. So let me say creating an image for a course. Here you can add your system prompt that you're using. So mm, I need to check for one. Mm, yeah. Now moderate to generate test data with. Let's go with GPT-4o Mini and let's click on generate. When you click on generate, it actually generates a sample question and the answer to it. Now, as you can see, for most of it, it gave the question and the answer as I am able to provide an analysis. Let's click on next. Choose what you want to evaluate. I can choose any of the EA quality or string check or ensure safety and ethical content labels to understand how it interacts. So let me just go for, let's say, um, I want to check for self-harm related content. I can actually set a criteria, set a query, and the response. I can set a passing grade. So let me just add and click on next. So now when I click on submit, it will actually run through this evaluation and give me the data out there. This is a way to actually check whether your model is actually not giving answers that that are actually harming or that are actually harmful, and it's automated, so you don't have to work much out there. It's starting, so let it do. Till then, let's go to the guardrails. So this is the place where you can actually add your safety guardrails and add in your agent controls. You can actually moderate text content by running a simple test out there, or you can run a bulk test by uploading your dataset and view the results. Risk plus alerts is again a section where you can actually monitor and risk for your AI applications once you have actually enabled it in your Azure portal. So I'm not enabling it right now, but I would want all of you to go and check this out. The evaluation should have started. Okay, completed. Now it's loading. I can see that it passed and there is no self harm. I can check the data which was there. I can actually look at the logs of what all happened out there in the big backend. Then there's governance. So I can actually add in a tool like Microsoft Purview to actually check for my compliance with the EU AI Act that I just showed you right now. So I can do this. I can add Microsoft Intra, side or integration or Credo AI integration. So if I go to Purview, let me log in. Yeah, I cannot because it's not a part of my tenant. But if I go to the Microsoft Purview, I can actually check whether my AI is actually regulated with the EU AI Act or not. So these are the four things that you can actually use in Protect and Government to actually check whether your AI is compliance and is not turning into an horror from the hype or the hope that we are in right now. S- So this is it about it.
Thank you very
Do
much
let me
for.
know if you have
Oh,
any questions.
yeah, there's nothing in the chat, but feel free to put any questions that you have in the chat while we wait. Yeah, one thing that was really interesting for me was essentially the EU governance, very short time frame. You start to look at like it was August 2024, and then suddenly 2000 like do very very quick in terms of each stage that it's going through. Like I don't think a lot of governance has moved as fast generally, so it's really great to see because I know a lot of countries are looking to see what other countries are doing in this space, and because the technology is evolving so fast, um, even some of the governance that like Microsoft Foundry has, it's yeah, it's definitely an interesting time. I've
Definitely.
also I've got AlphaFold as well in another Windows that I've been taking a look at. So I'll definitely spend some time today to go through and take a look at AlphaFold because I think so, although like you're right, there is some horrors that we just need to be mindful with like defects and stuff like that with AI technology. Actually, there's a whole bunch of good stuff that's coming from it as well that I think it's yeah, definitely don't want to forget about or actually use as much as we can, um, especially in the
true.
medical. I always think accessibility is a big one, like especially with these transformer models and generative AI. Yes, they can do coding for you. Yes, they can do a whole like deep fake generation, but actually, I I class it as a Star Trek era, right? You can go, hey, computer, and then issue a command in native language to do it. So it opens up a whole bunch of accessibility across multiple languages, multiple ways of working, like without needing hands to type on keyboard anymore as such. So I think it opens up a whole lot in the accessibility space as well. So it's going to be interesting to see that grow.
True.
But we've got a comment just saying amazing session. I agree. So thank you very much for presenting again to us today. I think we'll leave it there, but I appreciate you spending your time and your knowledge to come and share with us. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Oh, and where can people go to connect with you? Like, just
They can go to my LinkedIn.
you had it up earlier, sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, they can head over to my LinkedIn for the same.
Of course. Yeah, you won't be hard to find. So if you have further conversations or further questions, feel free to reach out. But yeah, thank you very much. Well,